The first month of NHL action is filled to the brim north of the border. Between the coaches sitting in the hot seat, the sweeping goalkeeping debates and the stars demonstrating, nothing happened, even if the former Northern Division wasn't theatrical. It's still early, but patterns are starting to emerge across all 7 Canadian teams, with some moving in more productive directions than others. Over the course of the 20 days of NHL games, here are the ranks at each NHL club, and what's right going for each. 1. Edmonton Lubricants A. Looking to improve their final appearance in the Western Conference last season, the Oilers began a strong month on foot, winning their last 4 games and setting a record 6-3-0 in October. As always, the superstar continues to dazzle in the first 9 games of his campaign, as is the Connor McDavid show in the City of Champions. Something exciting, McRocket Richard. The term generations has lost some of the charm it once had, but superstars like McDavid are just on a different level. Like Sidney Crosby did earlier in his career, McDavid seems to have decided to win the Rocket Richard Trophy this year. The number 97 has 9 goals in 9 games to start his season, and continues to hum as the best talent in the league. This is Connor's world, and we all live in it. Something related, soup cooled. After years of struggling to find the answer between the pipes, the Oilers paid $25 million for 5 seasons to sign Jack Campbell last summer. Unfortunately for them, things didn't go so well for the Michigan native. In 6 games, against Campbell's .888 save percentage and 3.89 goal average, he put him in danger of losing his wrinkle. Connor McDavid's 2022-23 NHL season had a roaring start. 2. Calgary Flames A. No NHL team has undergone such a dramatic overhaul as Flames last season, but the early returns certainly look promising. Flames, currently sitting at 5-2-0, have the best winning percentage of any Canadian club, albeit in the fewest games. The story continues. The club has received contributions up and down in the squad, and while Jacob Markstrom hasn't fully returned as the Vezina contender he was last season, some timely saves and recent solid exits have saved him as high as .903 in the season, with a very respectable 4-1-0 record. Something exciting, Kadri looks great. Nazem Kadri's debut season last year had its opposites, given that it seemingly appeared suddenly. Unable to produce more than 61 points in a season, Kadri scored 87 points in 71 games. Now, a month before his first season in Calgary, there's no doubt that Flames fans are excited to have Kadri on the lineup. The 32-year-old ranks first among all skaters in terms of goals and points, and has risen to the top of the team following Elias Lindholm's sleepy start. Something related, Huberdeau good. Flames' other major off-season move was to take Jonathan Huberdeau, and his start was good, but certainly not the level of success he or the departing Johnny Gaudreau had last season. However, if there is any consolation, there is probably some positive setback in Huberdeau's future. His career low 4.2% freeze-on percentage is likely to soon turn in his favor, and he's also stepping in with his defensive play, clearing up one of his few weaknesses in Florida. 3. Montreal Canadiens B. After a bleak season last year that earned Canadiens his first overall draft pick, Montreal arrived in 2022-23 with almost zero expectations. As such, things couldn't have been better in La Belle for 9 games, as Habs finished above .500 after their first month with a record 5-4-0. While new additions like Sean Monahan and Kirby Dach have contributed to the scoreboard while also making a meaningful impact under the hood, Martin St. Louis seems to have found a way to make the most of a talented but flawed roster. Something exciting, Caulfield and Suzuki are good. It took a midseason coaching change to knock them down last year, but Cole Caulfield and Nick Suzuki officially appear to be legal. Both Canadiens youngsters have 10 points in 9 games to start their seasons, including 7 goals for Caulfield, who are second in the NHL score. Even more impressive was this statistic that circulated on Twitter last month. This content is unavailable due to your privacy preferences. Update your settings here to see it. While McDavid has since widened the gap, even being in the same debate as the world's best player is a pretty good sign if you're a Canadiens fan. Something related, Connor Bedard in danger. Let's not kid ourselves here. It would be quite monumental for Montreal to make it to the playoffs, let alone make some noise if it gets there. The club's expected target of 45.6% per emerging hockey ranks second worst among Canadian teams, and some of its aforementioned star players are among the biggest culprits of the team's weak core metrics. In addition, this year's draft has a potentially huge prize waiting for the lottery winner. While Juraj Slafkovsky is influential, there's no doubt that Connor Bedard isn't a potential game changer. The Canadian team alone in the Central Division started the season 5-3-1. While the Jets continued to bow to the metrics under the hood, strong scoring and contributions from the back end kept them afloat in a tough October schedule in which they played just 3 games at home. Perhaps the club could find another piece of equipment in the coming months, as new head coach Rick Bowness solidifies his locker room, but the team will need to fix the ship quickly. If not, there could be another drop in the tough Western Conference rankings, and another potential non-top 10 lottery pick on the cards. Something exciting, Connor Hellebuyck is good again. After winning the Vezina Trophy in 2020 and receiving serious consideration in 2021, Hellebuyck's 2021-22 season has left much to be desired. Netminder's .910 savings percentage was the lowest since its second campaign in 2016-17, while its 2.97 GAA was the highest level of its career. Some of this can be attributed to the poor defense in front of him, but simply put, Hellebuyck was not a Vezina candidate last year. This season has been completely different for the 29-year-old. The Jets franchise goalkeeper has a brilliant .931 savings percentage in 7 games, and has been a big part of Winnipeg's winning hockey games. Hellebuyck, who is third in the NHL in goals scored more than expected, according to Money Puck, seems to have bounced back in a big way. Something related, key metrics. Like last year, Jets has problems on the defensive side of the disc and crashes into possession of the ball as a result. The Jets' expected goal percentage of 43.8% ranks 27th in the league, and dropped significantly from its 17th ranked position in the category last year. Most alarming are the individuals who are fighting the most through the door for Winnipeg. While both Mark Sheffield and Blake Wheeler are dominated on ice, the so-called number 1 defender, Neil Pionk, has the worst expected goal ratio against any regular skater. Connor Hellebuyck has been a bright spot for the Jets this season. 5. Ottawa Senators C. There are a few different ways to look at the beginning that Senators started. On the bright side, with the likes of Shane Pinto and Jake Sanderson giving their campaigns great starts and quickly appearing as potential building blocks for an organization that has lacked them for a while, youth has come in a big way. Conversely, the team is idle to start its season, and is currently sitting in last place in a stacked Atlantic Division. There are reasons to believe what Senators are doing now, but unfortunately the results aren't quite there yet, leaving them in an emotional rut when it comes to rating their start. Something exciting, Brady Tkachuk has stepped up. Just like his brother did last year, Tkachuk seems poised to take the next step into NHL stardom. Tkachuk, who scored 11 points in 8 games, was finally able to break the points per game after setting a career high of 67 points last season. His 6 goals were tied for first place in the team, and as last year, he takes the puck out of the dangerous areas of the ice. If Senators are to compete for a playoff, Tkachuk's rise will be an important part of how far Ottawa will eventually go. Something related, Josh Norris done. An unfortunate shoulder injury from a few, identified as the team's best pivot going into the year, is likely to end the 23-year-old season before it even rolls. Norris made his big debut with the Sens last year, leading the team with 35 goals, and looking like the award-winning pickup truck in the headlines on Erik Karlsson's return. Instead, Senators are no longer one of their most important players, which will make it even harder for the club to get out of its first pit. 6. Vancouver Canucks D. From panic-induced kickoff to Bruce here, no team has gone through the ups and downs of the season like the Canucks and their fans. Despite a 2-5-2 start to the season, things are getting better in Canuckland after a pair of wins last weekend. Things are certainly more dangerous than peaceful, especially given Patriarch Alvin's not-so-enthusiastic support for his coach, but the mood in Vancouver is definitely moving in the right direction. Exciting thing, EP could be that guy.